Okay, this is the side chair. And I want to show you a couple of things about cutting this piece out that are a little different. And it's not that they're super different, but they're important. And they both have to do with these cuts right here. You can see that there is a back to the chair. Let's pop out one of my examples here. There's the front of the chair and the back of the chair. I went ahead and put designs on both sides because, why not? But when it comes to these two cuts, I learned, I don't want to say the hard way, but I learned that making these cuts first is really, really important. And you can see that this, even though it's not a part, this goes all the way down. You can see here very easily that it goes all the way down because this piece here is straight and coming off of it. It's a little bit of a strange angle, and part of me really thinks I need to go back in and move some things around a little bit to find a better situation for that. But we're working with what we've got right now. So for this cut and this cut, and some of these accompanying cuts, I recommend that you do them first. And the reason is because you need to be able to kind of get in there, and if everything else is cut out, making this piece of paper behave and hold still is much harder, because there's always a bit of, when you're, if this is the paper and this is your straight edge, because of the slickness of both of them, there's some slide that can take place, and that can happen more easily when it's a very small piece. So I recommend that you do these cuts first, and you can see I cut all the way from here all the way off. And now I'm going to do this cut here, because this is a really, it's just not easy. I mean, it is, but it isn't, but it isn't. It is. Does that make sense? Because this piece here needs to be able to, can you see how that's cut all the way down there? It looks like something that's very easy, and it is, but it's also very easy to kind of mess it up. Okay, let's see. I've got a clear path here, and I'm going to very gingerly cut here. You can see this nail, which I shouldn't be hitting with my knife, is really pressing down hard, so that does not move. It's almost like your straight edge will begin to kind of hydroplane. Okay, am I in the right spot? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm of the mind measure twice, cut once kind of thing. Let's get in there. And it's also very helpful too if you use a brand new blade. I am from that old school of graphic designers who learned to do paperboard and paste up. And by the third cut, you'd hear snap, and the blade is gone, and you'd have to get a new blade out. So I tend to use mine a bit longer than that now, but still, for things that I know I need to be really precise on, I just changed the blade out on this one before. Now, as you can see, I went through and I made this cut and this cut because they're kind of short and small. I'm just going to go ahead and do them now. And I'm also going to do this one and this one. Just because it's easier to do them this way. Okay, now that I've got that done, I'm actually going to come in here and pull this piece off so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And now I can go back to the more standard way that I've been cutting these. I kind of prefer for these chairs to cut this middle section first and then turn and cut out this piece in the middle here like this. It's all in what you prefer, with the exception of the first couple of cuts that I showed you. Those really do need to be done first and with a really sharp knife. Now, if you want, you can do this portion with a pair of scissors. I will come in sometimes and do this. Yuck, got something in my mouth. And then, since this is a pretty small curve, I just freehand it. Always be careful when you are pulling a blade towards yourself, because you don't want anything in the way that's going to bleed. So when I would teach students to use sharp tools, and that includes scissors, you always needed to say, remind them, nothing that can bleed should be in the path of the blade. So your scissors shouldn't be able to cut your fingers. Don't be holding something and cut. When I am cutting, this hand over here is completely occupied and out of the way of my blade. Once that's lined up, these are pressed down. They are not going to go anywhere. I also know that I have a strange habit of putting a pinky down. I'm not exactly sure why I do that. I don't know that it actually helps do anything for me. It may help me steady the blade. So even if you're asking, I don't know why I do it. So you can see this gets cut out really pretty quickly and pretty easily. Okay, and you can see I kind of test it to see whether it's going to come off. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing that I've done with other pieces and put them underneath a piece of paper and rub down a little bit so anything that's kind of poking up is not in my way. So the next step that we're going to do, let's just pretend that we've cut this. I'm going to set this over here and I'm going to cap this. Always cap these. I've got a really disgusting story about this, about someone who didn't cap their stuff. If you want to hear it, it's absolutely disgusting, and funny, but it wasn't me. So you can see here in this version, there are the tiny dotted lines that go around here and here. They kind of make an H, a double barred H, and when you're doing the scoring for these, this is what you're doing. You're taking the your tool, whether it's a bone folder or something else. Okay, that's not quite on the line. Move that over a little bit. There we go. Sometimes, because this is a much thinner piece of paper, you may have seen it move a bit. Be careful. Let's try this again. This is, I wish I had a copy of this in the lighter wood. Okay, let's try this now. I'm gonna, okay, for this one, in the middle section, things are usually pretty cool. But once you get down here, this one will have a tendency to swing in a little bit. So put a thumb or something over the top of it so you've got it right on the line. Okay. And then from here to here. Double check it on the back. Everything looks copacetic. Okay. And then, okay. These pieces are all scored. Now, before I do any folding with this, oh, wait a minute. Did I not get this portion? This didn't score very well. You can kind of see it. You can't see it. I think I'm going to come back and add a little bit more. I think I was easing up on it a little bit. Let's see. There we go. That's better. Now what I'm going to do, because this one is going to have blue on the inside like this one, I'm going to go ahead and do the legs. Basically everything, the legs here. Oh, let me see. You can see it better here. Here, the legs, and a little bit around the edges up here, because we might be able to see a bit on the inside. So that is what's going to be in the next part of the video. So I am, well, I can just go ahead and start that now. I'm having some difficulties with some of the stuff that I'm trying to upload, and I'm trying to, instead of doing things in sections, I'm trying really hard to just continually shoot, so it's only one video that I need to upload. So you can see, again, I'm making sure that I'm just going straight out and trying not to catch those edges. But anything that's going to be seen, I'm going to color in. Then I'm going to start folding and gluing, which is what I'll be showing you in the next part of this video. I'm going to go away and get all this done, and I'll see you in the next part of this video.